again!
It's almost!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the middle. So a good performance.
Hello, you're watching Firstpost. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. On the show today, is Indian cricketer Rishabh Pant under pressure? Sure, it's been just the one loss and IPL is a long journey, but standing in his way today is the Hyderabad franchise, ready to blow away any opposition. Stakes are high in this volatile clash with two wicket-keeper batters waiting to prove critics wrong. Pakistan, meanwhile, has been humiliated again, this time in hockey. The country has been uninvited by Malaysia for the Azlan Shah Cup that is to be held later this year. What is the reason, and will this be the death knell to a sport that has been struggling for years now? And India has huge ambitions for the 2036 Olympics. If their budgeting is to be believed, then this one could be the most expensive edition yet. How so? And after the Para Games faux pas, what are the biggest challenges India faces? All that coming up. But first, a look at the headlines on Sports 360. Starting with cricket in the IPL, Kolkata registered their first win of the season after beating Rajasthan comfortably by 8 wickets. Bowling first, Kolkata restricted Rajasthan to 151. While chasing, Quinton de Kock led the charge with a 61-ball 97. Rajasthan are yet to open their account after 2 matches. In football, Palestine's dream of making it their first ever World Cup is well and truly alive after a late 2-1 victory against Iraq in qualifiers. Ahmed Mahajna scored the winner 7 minutes into stoppage time. The match was played in Jordan after Iraq refused to travel to Palestine. Iraq wasn't keen on playing the match in Jordan either, but later agreed. With 2 more matches left, the battle will intensify in Group C. Football icon Diego Maradona's ex-bodyguard Julio Cesar Correa has been arrested for lying in an ongoing trial. 7 healthcare professionals have been accused of negligence in Maradona's death. Correa claimed he had kept no contact with one of the defendants, but later text messages between the two surfaced. And Golden State Warriors star Steph Curry has teamed up with former First Lady Michelle Obama to launch a sports drink. Curry and Obama announced a healthier sports drink, Plezi Hydration, through Obama's public benefit company. Two wicket-keeper batters who have been under pressure in different scenarios take center stage at the Indian Premier League. One, a blistering talent who was part of the Indian squad and the Mumbai franchise in the IPL, lethal with the bat and behind the wickets, but attitude issues resulted in him falling off the wagon. The other had a life-threatening accident, came out of it with a bang, but is under a cloud now, with the pressures of IPL captaincy weighing him down. Rishabh Pant, captain of the Lucknow team, has a lot riding on him now. Lucknow were blown away by a Delhi storm in the name of Ashutosh Sharma in their opening game. Injuries to their key bowlers obviously dented Rishabh Pant's plans. He had a forgettable first game as captain of Lucknow. First, of course, his batting. He got out without scoring a single run, and the timing was all wrong because his partner at the other end, Nicholas Pooran, had just set the stage ablaze in the previous over, scoring 28 runs. That Pant dismissal changed the tide of the game.
We have talked about Pant's shot selection. He's going for that 6th option rather than build an innings. Once your captain gets out, it's not a great batting lineup.
He wasted 6 balls as well, especially when the previous over went for 28 runs. You got to get off strike.
When he came into bat, he was defending the ball straight. If you just get off the strike, it becomes better for your partner.
Pant and company did do well defending their target initially, but lost their way as Delhi began to take the game away from them. Pant missed a stumping chance at a crucial moment towards the end with everyone on edge. Fans, of course, took to the internet and memes of this defeat struck up quite the storm, most of them targeting Rishabh Pant. You can smile a bit because it's been some days since that, but the internet really can be cruel and sometimes unforgiving. But it has been Pant's lack of game sense at times that's gotten him and India into trouble against Australia in the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Everyone remembers Sunil Gavaskar as commentator losing his cool while watching the way Pant threw his wicket away in Melbourne. And Pant also did not feature in India's fixtures against England, both in the ODI and T20 series right after, with KL Rahul and Sanju Samson taking up that role in both of the formats. But it takes one good knock, one good game to put all of that to rest. All the more reason why the pressure seems to be on Pant now, because standing against Lucknow is a team who can pulverize any opponent, who have the kind of batting lineup to put any bowling attack to shame. And it was, in fact, the loss to these opponents last season by Lucknow that saw this scene play out right after. So there's a lot on the line here today, also for Hyderabad's Ishan Kishan, who's making a lot of noise after scoring the first 100 of this edition.
The captain has given us a lot of freedom and confidence. Hats off to the management. Pat and the coach gave me a lot of confidence. The environment is so calm. The team has put their faith in me and I want to do my best for them.
Well, he can make all the comments he wants to, but the truth is Ishan was given all the opportunity and exposure that any youngster would have loved to get. He was given the freedom to express and go after any attack while he was in the Mumbai franchise as well as in India colours. He fell off the grid and the central contract last year, all because of his own doing and lack of intent, as everyone believed so. So this IPL and this season in particular is really important for Ishan Kishan to show he's exactly where he belongs, among the best wicket-keeper batters. IPL has been that platform, the platform for new stars to be born and, of course, forgotten heroes to reclaim their place under the sun. No matter how big their stature, no matter the kind of cricket that they've played all along, they know they are as good as their last game. And that's what these two wicket-keeper bats under fire will be telling themselves in a career-defining IPL for both. While Pakistan is hoping to recover economically, it's very much a work in progress there, and any country grappling with a financial burden will stifle every aspect of growth across various sectors, sports included. The already struggling sport of hockey is facing yet another episode of humiliation on the international stage. They've not been invited to participate in the Azlan Shah Cup that's set to take place later this year in Malaysia, a tournament where Pakistan finished runners-up just last year. Pakistan's exclusion was confirmed on the tournament's official website. The names of other participating teams were all there. World number 2 and, of course, the ones gunning for the title now, Belgium. India and Germany, the other sides ranked in the top 5, favourites as well. Hosts Malaysia alongside Ireland and Canada. All there except 2. The omission of 2 countries was glaring. One, Pakistan, runners-up of last edition. The other, Japan, the defending champions. With Japan, it's been the other way around. They've a packed schedule and a year of sporting commitments to keep up. So they've opted out of the tournament, saying they just can't fit this one in. With Pakistan, the matter is rather disappointing and embarrassing. In fact, it was a Pakistan Hockey Federation member who reportedly claimed that Malaysia didn't extend an invitation to them as they were unhappy regarding Pakistan's debt situation. Pakistan, of course, resorting to the blame game tactics here, something we have seen all too often over in cricket for many years now. It's something went wrong. It had to be the fault of the officials who had been in charge prior to the current setup. But it doesn't just end here. Joining in on the din surrounding this embarrassing development is the PHF secretary himself, Rana Mujahid. Rana has brushed aside all talks of the Pakistan Hockey Federation owing Malaysia anything, saying it has all been just a misunderstanding.
We have not received any communication from the Malaysian Federation regarding this. Pakistan have friendly relations with the Malaysian Federation and we hope the matter can be resolved soon.
Now, while the PHF secretary claims that Malaysia hasn't demanded anything from Pakistan, then why has Pakistan not been invited if these were just baseless rumours? Why would past runners-up not be invited to a tournament unless there was some probable cause? Which makes the PHF secretary's dismissive talks rather comical. He basically failed to address the elephant in the room, the dire state of hockey itself in the country currently. Last year, 4 members from the Pakistan hockey national squad, 3 players and a physiotherapist, tried seeking asylum in Europe. The reason was delayed salaries and Pakistan's failure to provide daily allowances to the squad, something that PHF secretary himself had admitted back then. Proof enough of the flailing financial system that prevails in Pakistan hockey. Pakistan's current economic state doesn't help matters either. If the country is altogether struggling, the chances of sport bodies facing the brunt is always going to be high. But this is how proper governance can save any sinking ship. Despite Pakistan's financial woes, their country's cricket board just spent millions on stadium renovations for the ICC Champions Trophy. Of course, with the help from the ICC, the International Cricket Council, but they did so nevertheless. And while the tournament might have put a massive dent on them financially, given the lack of crowd turnout and such, the board still splurged to bring an ICC event back to their shores. Sure, the Pakistan Cricket Board isn't the best example of proper governance here, and we've seen enough of that is well documented to say otherwise, but that is the only sport that still generates interest and has enough riding on it. To scale up the sport of hockey as well, Pakistan could take a leaf from their neighbours. India is ranked 5th now, our Olympics bronze medalists, and challenging top guns at the biggest level. This country too went through a bit of an upheaval over the many years after their moments of glory. The country has a domestic structure now that includes a Hockey India League, something that keeps the sport moving. The facilities running, which will only help India in regaining their giant status of becoming gold medal winners again. Because it is easier to promote a running system than a broken one, a functional system than something that's damaged. Similar to India, Pakistan too were once giants in the sport, but improper governance has taken its toll and players have fallen prey to this. What they are failing to understand is that players need backing. They need to feel inspired to represent their country, a feeling that needs some effort instilling now. PHF is still hopeful that this was just some error and that the invite from Malaysia will arrive. But it's more than just making it to the Azlan Shah this year. That's just a small part of an overall revival the sport and the structure in the country desperately needs. India's next biggest sporting ambition is to be able to host the Olympics in 2036, and it looks like India's plans for the same could be the most expensive edition yet. But will pumping in money really earn them hosting rights? Because challenges India face to make this a reality is beyond just the monetary concerns. First, let us look at the amount we are talking about here. A report in a news daily suggests a high-level coordination committee presented a detailed blueprint for the 2036 event, stating that hosting the multi-sport event could cost India anywhere between $5 billion and $7.47 billion, even surpassing the estimated cost of some of the upcoming Olympics editions. India's budget of $7.47 billion has surpassed that of Brisbane, the 2032 host, by a margin, and LA's $5 billion target, that's 2028. The difference is because of this. LA still has the facilities and some of the infrastructure in place already. They will, of course, need some renovation post the LA wildfires, but still are better poised to execute an Olympic mission. Brisbane too initially wanted to plan for an economical Olympics, but have made a U-turn there. They proposed building new stadiums, more facilities, which would cost them some money. But they are a bit smart in that regard too, because the proposed infrastructure will be used in the years to follow. They intend to build stadiums with multiple facilities, one of which is set to replace the iconic Gabba. Something similar is what India is aiming to do as well, according to the ambitious plan. The country will use 30% of the facilities, existing facilities, in various cities, with Ahmedabad being the primary host. New facilities for sports that aren't mainstream in India will be created, which will constitute to 60% of the total infrastructure to be used at the Olympics. And temporary infrastructures will account for a minor 10%, which will be dismantled once the Olympics is over. The planning clearly looks good, and if India is able to deliver on these merits, they do stand a fair chance of getting the hosting rights. But that isn't the major concern for India here. The current state of sports in the country might make a few things tricky and work against their desired plans. Just recently, India organized the Khelo India Para Games. For those unversed, Khelo India is India's sports program that intends to prepare athletes for major events globally, a kind of national games with many sporting disciplines all under one roof. This is to revive the sports culture in India, and in the recent past, this has been quite a game changer, giving many athletes opportunities to take flight. But the Para Games this time, which concludes today, was fraught with logistical issues that raised questions over India's preparedness. From lack of escorts, no proper ramps, accreditation issues and transport failures, athletes underwent many teething issues during the event, despite this being a second edition. Now, the Khelo India Para Games were hosted for little over 1,300 athletes across 5 days. Olympics, on the other hand, typically last for around 16 to 18 days. 12,000 to 14,000 athletes and accompanying members. And in addition to the Olympics, the Para Games are organized in the very same country too, just a little after the conclusion of the Summer Games. So India will have to prepare properly for multiple number of para athletes who will come in, something they failed to do for a national event here. So clearly, and in addition to a detailed blueprint, India needs to review some of its failures from their past too, because the last time India hosted a mega multidiscipline sporting event was the Commonwealth Games in 2010, an event that saw accusations of corruption and hosting committees facing scrutiny over mismanagement. You think that there will be some learnings from these mistakes. All they need to do is to review and move forward, because hosting an Olympics would be historic for the country. The country's Prime Minister has been vocal about making India ready for the 2036 Games. All they need to do now is work on the challenges that lie ahead. The elections to decide the host of the 2036 Olympics will happen after this year. 1 year for India to put its best foot forward, and 10 years thereafter, if they get the hosting rights, to make it one grand debut. Time for last serve. The Champions Trophy in Pakistan may have failed to attract the masses, and of course the early exit of their team didn't help either. But die-hard cricket fans continue to show their love for the game. Night cricket has become a part of Ramzan ritual, the holy Islamic month of fasting. Take a look. That wraps it up here on Firstpost. I'll of course see you again here tomorrow. Till then, do take care. Bye-bye.
Greeting you with aloha and namaste.
No, I love India.
Presence, occupation of a territory by another country pertains to India. What we saw in Kashmir.
The Prime Minister Modi. How do you see Trump's America?
Yes, the current administration behaves differently from the previous administration.
Are you saying that there are foreign powers who are trying to bring down the current government in Syria?
Exactly. Bluntly, Iran, maybe Russia too.
Prime Minister Modi committed to South-South, cooperation.
Not over 50%.
Is Ukraine prepared to pay the price for that peace?
No compromises at the cost of territorial integrity and sovereignty.